Come on, man. Hey, because he's just a Mandalorian, and he's out to save his boy, and he's on his somebody else show, but he's now showed up at Tatooine with Cat Bane, Cobb Vanth, and his pussy ass homeboy who got shot a couple times up in the face, and his ass don't even try to fight, and he's yeah, that's what it is, bro. It is a new day. What's going on? Welcome to the party, everybody. It's New Blood Order time, man. We're gonna talk about this crazy Star Wars series as well as some of these other shows that's popping right now. But there's a lot of stuff going on in the universe, y'all. Let's talk about some of it. Let's open up with headlines. I'm not sure if y'all were aware of it or not, but it has been noted that Taron Egerton, Ty's other boyfriend, is actually been spotted looking ripped, and people are like, yo, this dude is really auditioning for this Wolverine part. Guess what? The Joker 2 set to start premiering in production starting next year. Big deal. Do we like that or not? I don't know. I don't know. I still didn't really feel that movie. That's a whole other subject. Big news. Guess who has co-signed Amazing Spider-Man 3, despite Spider-Man 4 still being set for production. So we're looking like this might actually happen. I'm digging that. In other news, it appears that one of the Star Wars plots that was not revealed in the Rise of the Skywalker was the potential for Poe and Finn to be lovers. Is that something that we want? Who knows? Maybe it's dope. I don't know. But we also got some really cool shows that premiered this week, including the one and only Raised by Wolves. If you ain't watching Raised by Wolves, then you must be something. I don't know. That show is a whole mind fuck, but it is definitely worth the watch. Raising Dion season 2 is now upon us. So make sure y'all check that out. But let's go ahead and talk about this week's episode of the Boba Fett, where the man them meet big bad man like Cat Bane and done know. And I was going completely ape shit when this came on, just in case you didn't see the clips. I am joined today. By the way, I'm on the road. I'm out here in the New Smyrna area, which I don't know, it's like South Daytona, North Daytona. I don't know what's going on. I'm here at the Motel 4.5. There's literally negative stars on this hotel. And we're gonna do what we're doing today. I am joined by, of course, none other than Yaz, the Queen Meme. What's going on, Yaz? We've got the homie Tyrone in this bit.
What up?
Got Bad Ty in this bit. And one time for the birthday chick, Steph Ray is in this bit. One time for the birthday chick. 2 times for the birthday chick. 3 times for the birthday chick. Go ahead, look back at it. Look back. Hey, we in there. Hey, go ahead, Steph. Yes, we doing it. Happy birthday, Steph.
Thank you.
Oh, man, it is a pleasure. Look, Steph is joining us on her birthday, even though she should be somewhere having breakfast margaritas. We'll go ahead and get this out of the way.
Margaritas.
Right. We'll go ahead and get this little show out the way so that we can go ahead and get around. But while I have your attention, I must make the major announcement. Next Saturday, we will be joined by none other than the one and only Yvette Nicole Brown. You know her from Community. We know her from Marvel's Endgame with the Avengers sequel, where she played Phyllis Jenkins, who is one person that my homegirl Steph says she wants to emulate. That's what's up. That's a big deal. And Stephanie did that. All right, let's keep it real. This is unity. All right, so we're all working as a team, and we're building up. We have now had folks from the MCU, the DC universe. We've had folks from all over the place, but this one takes the cake. We will have somebody who was in the Endgame movie, on somebody who was on the Talking Dead show almost every single season. This is a big deal. So we are thrilled to have Yvette Nicole Brown join us next week. Make sure you guys set your clocks, set your reminders, and let's make this happen. But as for right now, somehow we just started. That's Yazzie. I see you. Go ahead, yeah, this is cool. It seems as if this week we have taken a leap. I don't know if y'all saw the memes out there, but they're now calling this the book of everybody but Boba Fett. It seems like it's appropriate. I'm digging it, honestly, because ever since Boba Fett has taken a background position in this show, the show has gotten nothing but progressively better. Ever since the Mandalorian hijacked and said, look at me. I'm the Boba Fett now. You know what I'm saying? Like, they have been killing it. Everything is firing on all cylinders. So I was wondering, man, our resident skeptic, the guy who's pretty much down on the show. Let's just keep it real, Tyrone. You have been sparing no punches when it was sparing no, not pulling your punches when it comes to how you think this show's plot isn't necessarily worthy of your attention. What say you about this most recent episode, homeboy?
I think it's another fun episode. I enjoyed it. I as far as it being part of the Boba Fett story, I mean, there's questions on whether that's actually working out for them. But I wasn't complaining. I was enjoying watching Luke, watching Grogu, watching Ahsoka. I was like, I saw that silhouette in the desert, way down there, and I was like, oh, I know exactly who that is. I was like, yep, they're doing this. Just bring everybody. That's fine. I was having a great time. So if we don't go back to the Boba Fett story, I'm not even mad at it. Like, we could visit everybody. We could just start going to other planets and just visiting people just to say hi. Like, I'm totally cool with it.
All right, dig it. Yes, I know you was just as geeked as I was. I could not wait for you to watch it, man. Me and you are both Star Wars animated series fans. I binged the Clone Wars. We both watched Bad Batch. Come on, mama, what you thought when you seen this episode?
I was geeked. I'm not gonna lie. From start to finish, just the opening scenes, and we get literally Grogu and Luke and their training to Ahsoka. It just, I don't know, it was completely mind blowing. And then we got the end with my nigga Cad Bane. Oh God, my expression was your expression. I literally jumped off my couch and threw everything. Was like, no fucking way. So yeah, it was pretty epic. This episode gave us all the life that we needed for the Book of Boba. And the last episode, man, I cannot wait to see what they're gonna give us.
Yeah, man. Yo, yes. I lost my collective mind. Yo, when they showed him walk, all I saw was a hat. I was like, yo, what the? Yo, that is not. And I kept saying it over and over, like a complete, somebody with challenges. That is Cad Bane. That is Cad Bane. That is Cad Bane. That is not Cad Bane. That is Cad Bane. That is Cad Bane. What thought you, my homeboy, Bad Time, man? I know you kind of had a love-hate relationship with this series, too. Every time they push Boba Fett to the background, you're like, but it's his show.
I mean, yeah. Excuse me for being logical. But nah, listen, I'm with Tyrone completely. If you want to just keep giving us Luke and Grogu and Ahsoka, and Cad Bane, anybody else but Boba, I'm with it. These last two episodes have been crazy, man. They are literally crazy, taking over just everybody's mind. Like you said, you lost your mind. So
yeah. All right, we have an awkward situation going here, guys. You're not gonna believe me if I tried to tell you. But okay.
You in the wrong room, Vince? Again?
No. All right. So
sound like you under the table.
Oh my God! I cannot believe this happening. I cannot believe this is happening right now. This is crazy. All right. So I actually dropped my earpiece. All right, and then it came underneath the dresser, and I reached underneath the dresser to get it, and my hand is actually stuck under the dresser right now.
Can we get a live stream of this real quick? Come on, big
crazy.
We got what's the hotel's name so I can call them, have somebody go in there with their camera phone so we can see this shit. Not even to help you, but just so we can see it.
Is this the hand in the box trick where you just let go of what?
No, I don't know how this just happened. What the fuck? Okay, all right, I'm free.
Start wiggling slowly,
I got a glue trap down there to trap
by the way,
baby alligators.
What kind of dresser is this in the hand in the hotel where you can't lift it? What kind of dresser? Cherry oak.
That's just bolted down. He's in New Smyrna.
Yeah.
All right, so what happened was my earpiece, which comes out for whatever reason, every time I put it in my left ear, drops, and then I've tried to put the screen on tie so I could, go get it, and it looks like I look like Minecraft, but who cares? I'll be in the strobe light today. And then when I went to reach underneath, my watch went under, but then I couldn't get it out. So I was like stuck like this. And then I tried to like lift it up, but I, you know what I'm saying? Like, so I just had to basically like pick it up with my wrist. And yeah, this is I don't know what kind of voodoo was in the air today, but this is a crazy day. Wow, but it's all good, man.
The importance of wrist strength. This is a good lesson. Like gentlemen, when you're out there working out, make sure that you are working out your wrists, because there may come a time that you need that extra wrist strength. You know what I mean? So,
note to self, Vince, don't take your hand under a dresser with your watch on. Use the other hand. Okay, that's the moral of the story here.
I mean, listen, it's not something that happens every day. I don't lose my earpiece under a freaking dresser in a Motel 3. This is different. You know what I'm saying? So it is what it is. Like I feel like I'm at that hotel in freaking Ozark where Ruth, what is it called?
The Lazy O.
The Lazy O. Like, Marty, fuck you, Marty. What? You know what I'm saying? So it is what it is. So all right, so Tyrone is okay as long as they don't mess around with the Boba Fett story, because that's what he doesn't like. Stephanie, you, our new Star Wars watcher, what say you about this episode, if you have any opinion?
Several. So first of all, I do not at all understand the excitement about evil Squidward. Like what?
You did not.
Shots fired.
No.
Am I wrong?
Squidward has a nose, Stephanie. He doesn't have a nose.
Evil Squidward.
Squidward has a dick for a nose, and Cad Bane doesn't. Like, what? Oh my god.
Evil Squidward. Oh my god.
You did my boy dirty. Oh my god.
We're going viral.
Has a whole pickle for a nose. This dude's nose is inverted. Like, I don't even. All right, you know what? I don't. Steph, please continue.
Everything else is the same. So someone please explain to me why we're excited about that. Okay. I agree with Tyleem and Tyrone. I'm very happy if we never see Bubble Fizz again. I don't.
We're back to Bubble Fizz.
I don't remember what he's doing, and I don't care. Like when I stop it, I'm like, where did we leave off with him? I have no idea, and I've watched every episode. That tells you how much I was not invested, how much they did not make me care about him. Like he could die. We can come back, and it's like he died in the last 2 episodes, and I'm like, okay, that's fine. Let's just keep going. So, yeah, wow. I'm happy with the way that it's going now.
Is that how you feel, Tyrone? Like if Boba Fett passed, like you'd be perfectly fine as long as I mean, is that the consensus now? Is that what we're going? Is that what I mean? You say you don't care where he goes.
My whole thing is make it, just whatever happens, just make it good. And these last 2 episodes have been good. So like I'm like, yay, this is what I'm talking about. Let's be good. So far the stuff with Boba Fett just hasn't been real good in my opinion. But I would like to see Boba Fett show up in a way that makes us happy that he's around and that makes sense. But there might be a conversation to be had that maybe Boba Fett's just not the type of character to carry a show, and maybe that's why we are in this situation, is that he's Boba Fett's just not enough by himself, and even with a little help from Fennec throwing in some lines here or there, it's just not enough. So maybe they realized this as they were filming. Maybe the storylines had to start getting branched off and changed to add something to the show. But no disrespect to Boba Fett, but maybe he was just supposed to be the guy that's just like quiet, hanging out, looking mean in the background, and like every now and again like busting a skull or two. Maybe that was just how he was supposed to be, and he was never supposed to be all the stuff that we thought he should be.
Tyleem,
I was just gonna say to Tyrone's point, even with these last 2 episodes, you've seen more of Fennec than you've seen of Boba. Even in this last episode, she was the one orchestrating everything while Boba's standing there just looking crazy. Like, you know what I mean? Like, so, she almost looked like the leader of the whole organization, the one that was, calling the shots and could be calling the shots moving forward. She didn't look like, the help you know, or you know, the sidekick or whatever you want to call it. You know what I'm saying? Like that was indicative of where this story has been going for the last, I'd say, 3 episodes, not even just 2. It's just like it's more not about Boba and more about his supporting cast. And I think I saw Daniel in the comments say that he'll get his moment. Well, we shouldn't even be saying that on your own show. Like think about what you say. Oh, Boba will get his moment on your own show. Every moment is your own. Like yo, like that's the point. It's that you're saying that makes it like so bad. So like it's just yeah, man. Yeah. Tyrone, we're here
and
when we're in unison to that.
first of all, I want to challenge the whole notion of Finnick being a boss. I mean, Finnick is a boss. She's basically like the deputy to Boba Fett's sheriff. So I mean, yeah, she gets sent on errands, and yeah, that's perfectly fine. I don't see the big deal about that. But I think that
Being a
Daniel is
boss
dropping
and the
some
boss is different.
Fair enough, yeah, but I mean, yo, she's showing up. You know what I mean? I mean, she's still on the payroll. I mean, she has a life bond with this dude now because he saved her life. Even though we don't know, he might have passed by her, and the next dude could have picked her up and took her to the robot mechanic. But I mean, it is what it is. But yo, Daniel is. I for a split second, I wanted to get Daniel in on the green room and have him give us some tidbits. But he's spitting the facts. His keyboard is on fire. He's dropping lore. And I don't want to even some of it's spoil worthy, so I don't want to give it all away. But I believe I'm in the camp with Dan.
We lost you, Vince. I'm sure you can hear us right now.
Fuck?
What Vince is? Oh no, we heard your what the fuck.
You dropped.
Leave me
Did
the
you drop
fuck
something?
alone.
This
Leave me the fuck. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Yeah.
Heard that?
My bad. Can y'all hear
Yeah.
me?
Yeah.
We heard.
Y'all heard all
The
that?
disrespect.
We heard the Darth Vince moment of
whoever that is.
I'm trying to
calling
put my phone on
Vince,
do not
please
disturb,
don't
and
call
I am
Vince.
still getting calls, and now I can't hear y'all. Ain't this some shit?
Oh man, they messed up. What Vince was about to say was
Anyway.
that he
That's your
100%
Nah, I
agrees
can hear-
with
I
what
can
I
hear
was
it. I
saying.
got
Oh, okay. Oh, okay.
So here's the deal. I think that Boba Fett hasn't reached his what we will call supreme form. His, I think. I mean, when we get Boba Fett back with the utility belt, when he starts bringing, I mean, I'm channeling Daniel Biddle's comments. When we get him with the flamethrowers, with the rocket launchers, when we get classic Boba Fett, I think that it is true. Maybe the story didn't necessarily add up to what it's worth. But I think it's also hard to let go of the Boba Fett of badassery, especially now that we have Cad Bane. Now, speaking of Cad Bane, Stephanie asked the question, why do we care? Why do we care so much about who she referred to as evil Squidward? All right. Well, the reason why, Stephanie, is because, like I said, folks like Yaz and myself are avid fans of Star Wars, even the Star Wars animated series. And in the books and in the series, this is a major character, kind of similar to the Black Chrysanthemum when the Black Chrysanthemum came out. And a lot of the book folks was extremely happy because they haven't had a chance to see a live action version of them. So the fact of the matter is, Steph, we're used to seeing Cad Bane look like this in cartoons. And we're not used to him being a live action person that you can reach out, touch, feel. And it's so dope to see how the makeup artists, how everybody orchestrates him and how he looks, how he talks, his mannerisms, how similar it is to what we're already fans of. And I think that's why when I watch, and yes, maybe you can back me up on this. When I watch Clone Wars, when I watch Bad Batch, every time I see Cad Bane, I'm like, yo, that dude is hardcore. That dude is cold as fuck. Like, I hope that they someday make him a live action dude. Like, right. I've been saying that for the longest. And then out the blue, no warning, all of a sudden we're looking up and we see this dude pop up on the screen. And I'm like, yo, is that what I thought was happening right now? Holy fuck. Is that him? Is that him? Holy shit. It really is. So it's I mean, how can I liken this? What can I say? It's almost as if it's like I can't compare it to anything. I honestly can't because I'm thinking
it's like if Cad Bane showed up.
It's like if you watch the Black Panther cartoon, right, on BET, and they kept propping up Storm, and then all of a sudden in the next Black Panther movie, you see in the background it looks like Storm is walking up to the right. Now I got you. Okay, so that is kind of like what's going on here. Yaz, am I right? Am I close?
100%. So it's like, Stephanie, you know what we described to you, what Boba was, you know, his ruthless killing, you know, like he's just a mercenary, he's a badass. That is, Cad Bane is all those things, but more.
I don't trust y'all anymore. Nope.
No, but I'm just saying, like, listen. We only got a couple minutes with Boba before this whole series. You know what I mean? And that's why we depict him as that. We've got multiple scenes with Cad Bane and being a badass in his ruthlessness and just how he's just like, I don't give a fuck. This is how it's gonna be, or I'm gonna kill you. Literally, like, look at him. Like, he's a badass. So I know that you know, we misled you a little bit, you know, with the Boba tea, but this motherfucker right here, who is not Squidward, okay?
Right.
Let's get that straight. He's a boss ass nigga. Like, he's not one to mess with. But the only thing that like got me a little bit, like, I loved seeing him, his teeth, how they captured his eyes, you know, his face, his nose, not having a nose, you know what I'm saying? But the only thing that kind of like got me a little bit was I recently just played the game like, you know, back in the day from God, I can't remember the fucking name of it right now. Of course, I'm drawing a blank.
What? Boba, not the Boba Fett. Was it
No, it's a Space Invaders type game with like the alien comes. I'm like, I can't. The alien's name is Crypto. Shit, I can't remember the fucking name of it right now. Anyway,
yeah,
so
that's one of the side effects of you know what? I'm not gonna put you out there.
So yeah, I'll think of the video game and we'll reconvene this back. Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. Cool. Well, go ahead, Steph.
Oh, I was just gonna say real quick. I feel like y'all got first date Boba Fett. Like, you saw him for a couple minutes. You're like, oh, he's so tough. He's so bad. And now in the show, we're seeing who he really is. I think you all need to figure out your understanding of this man. Like, that was first week of the relationship. Now we're getting to know the real Boba Fett. And he's whack as fuck.
Oh, come on, man. All right. Well, yeah. All right. These whack. All right. You and Tyrone, man. Y'all over there in that hater parade y'all have it, man. It's cool. I know.
Hate Boba's way.
They just tell a good story. I get. Well, yeah. Listen. That's not the only thing that happened in this episode, even though I would say that it was probably the most significant, at least as it pertains to me. I also completely lost my shit when this dude showed up on the screen out the blue. I was like, yo, what the fuck, Luke? You know what I'm saying? Because at first they showed up and they were talking like, yo, we're looking for Luke. And in my head, I was like, all right, you know, you're looking for Luke, cool. But I didn't think they was going to actually find him, bro. Tyrone, they are now tapping into Luke culture, bro. Luke is a regular on this show. Luke used to be the star of the whole Star Wars series. Now he's an extra on the Book of Boba Fett. I'm loving it, but also there's a part of me that's like, I thought we were kind of preserving, like, Luke is on Leia level. Like, we don't, you know, just access him in the Disney Plus shows at random. You know, I mean, I'm happy to see him, especially R2, huge R2 fan, especially when he flies. But I don't know, man. I feel like, are we watering down Luke Skywalker, bro, or am I tripping?
So I think that you have a point. So I was excited to see Luke, and I thought that the deepfake stuff that they used looked great. Like, I thought that it looked good, like it felt good. It was like nostalgic to see him and stuff. But then, yes, it's like, ooh, we're getting close to, like, you know, perhaps changing things that we don't need to be changing. You know what I mean? And when you fill in this kind of story, like you start to rub up against different things that are already established. And I was talking to a friend, and we were concerned that they're going to try to inject, you know, more storyline to make it make sense the way that Luke ended up in The Last Jedi. And I was like, oh man, if they did that, it would be sad. Like the school that they built in this episode, we know what happens in that school. You know what I mean? Like, we know,
right?
And if anybody needs a reminder, by all means, happy to remind. But, like, you know, that's a pivotal moment that they established in that movie in Luke's life that they're kind of like working towards now. Right. And it's one that's kind of polarizing for Star Wars fans. So it scares me. But, like, overall, like, Luke, you know, from an early age, Luke has always been my boy. I'm a big Luke Skywalker fan, so I was just happy to see him. Hello?
I think we
Are
lost
we good?
again.
Oh, we lost Vince. Oh,
Close,
okay.
man.
Okay, so I
There he
remember.
is.
I
yeah, man.
remembered the game.
Whoa, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Oh, we can hear you.
I don't know
Holy
what
snap.
happens at the school.
Wow, this is so
Okay.
crazy. I
Well-
cannot believe it. Anyway, so yeah, man, the thing that happened in here with Luke that I thought was fascinating is that there were telling scripted moments
Mhm.
that gave us some insight. Like we learned that Grogu, he has a higher level of significance. We've been looking at him as just baby Yoda, some dude, some little baby that's a 50-year-old baby that was, rescued and captured our hearts by a Mandalorian. But turns out he was the first founding student. Well, at least we don't know yet. All right, because he's been offered the option of whether, choose the, in Wu-Tang style, choose the ball or choose the sword. I don't know if y'all watch Wu-Tang. But it would appear to me that they're setting it up so that Grogu may have been Luke's first student. And we all know how that went. I mean, 4 out of 5 of us know that the academy that he teaches ends up bringing up Kylo Ren, who ultimately, is one of the stars of the sequels.
Yeah, and not only that, but I was kind of mad at Luke for making Grogu choose. Not gonna lie, because Luke himself is somebody who was like, whenever Yoda in Empire, when Yoda was like, "No, you're not ready to go do this yet," he was like, "I don't care what you say, bye," and he left.
Right,
and that was kind of what made Luke who he was, and then he saved his dad, so Luke understands that it's not all black and white, that there's some gray area that they can play in. So I'm like, why do you got to do Grogu like that? But we'll see what happens. But I think it was kind of messed up. I'm like, come on, Luke, let's not act like you were the perfect Jedi. He's got a little dark side in him. That's the whole point.
Well,
his dad is was whatever. What are you saying, Ty? My bad.
I was saying Ahsoka said that. She said,
Very true.
You remind me of your father. Like you know what I'm saying? Like you have like when he was talking about
he's like, I wonder if his heart is in
like
it.
when she gave him the chain armor and he was basically talking about his focus and everything like that. And she was at that point is when she mentioned his father. And it kind of at that moment when I was watching it, because I'm a Star Wars fan, I'm not a Star Wars junkie. So like a lot of the stuff that you guys have watched, I haven't caught yet. I will, but I haven't caught. So Clone Wars, like when I because I watched Boba Fett live on Facebook, and my reaction when Boba Fett was, I just thought, I was like, who is this bad mother? He looks like he's a badass, but I didn't know who he was. Like I had to be told who he was. So I was like, oh, okay, cool, that's what's up. But he looks like he ain't coming to play no games. When I was watching Luke, the thing that stood out about seeing him on the screen was how crisp and how realistic he looked to be CGI. And just the the quality of what I was looking at. So when I saw it, I was like, oh, I can absolutely see a series in the works with Luke and maybe Grogu and and Ahsoka and everything like that. Because I don't know about you guys, but I clearly picked up some vibes from a couple people in this episode. I saw Ahsoka looking at Mandalorian like he was a snack, and I saw Luke looking at Ahsoka like she was a snack. So I was like, well, what's going on here? You know what I'm saying? Like, what are we playing into right now with this? So yeah, I'm really excited. I don't hold the same like holdbacks when it comes to actually showing Luke on a series and kind of tapping into, because I think there's a lot of new fans and people who aren't like Star Wars junkies that would love to learn about Luke in this way. So and then maybe it causes them to go back and look into Star Wars and Return of the Jedi and everything that Luke was in, and Last Jedi and everything like that.
So am I hearing this right? So like you're not as like some of the stuff we talk about, you're not as well versed on, and this is helping you kind of get acclimated to some of the.
Absolutely.
All right, so with that being said, like Tyrone, isn't that what the purpose is? Like to bring folks into the fold? Like, I mean, as much as you have these, issues with the plot and the lackluster storytelling. But those like Stephanie and Tylene, who aren't avid and are just kind of like entry level Star Wars fans, are learning a lot and are grasping a lot of this lore, and it's being tossed in here. It gives us, each of these Easter. Yo, Ruth is here, yo. Do y'all hear her?
Wild. Yeah.
Ruth is here, bro. I need to hide. The snails are coming in, bro. I'm glad I'm not pregnant.
Oh my God.
That's a whole other show. But isn't that at least something that we could take away, bro? Like,
yeah, no, I hear you. I
mean, Talim and Stephanie now know who Boba Fett is. They now know who Cad Bane is. They now are familiar with the concept of Tuscan culture. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, is that at least a positive? Or
there are plenty of positives, and I haven't. I have never been like, this show sucks. You know what I mean? I've just have had problems with the way that they've been telling stories, but like, there's definitely some stuff that you could take away from the show. I mean, it's had some moments that have been very fun. It's had some moments that have been funny. It's had some cool moments. I don't mind, people learning more about Luke in this moment. We're learning more about Luke right now. We've never gotten to know Luke to this point. We've only kind of had to guess at who he was and how he was. I'm gonna Mad Dabbin earlier on Twitch was talking about how they'd be happy to see the sequel trilogy retconned and just kind of redo it. And I'd be happy if they kind of changed that too. If they went away from that sequel trilogy and kind of changed Luke's trajectory, I'd be so happy with that. I was not a fan of where they went with that. My fear is that they double down on it and they give us a story about how Luke turned into this like hermit type nephew killer, you know what I mean? And like they fill in more detail with that. I think that would just be a shame, but that's my personal feelings. I didn't like The Last Jedi, so I'm one of those Star Wars fans. But I think it's great to see more Luke. And as long as they are careful with like the main reason that we're all here talking about this stuff, I hope they're just really careful with his character and with his story, because so far, Star Wars can get a little bit loose, and they can get a little bit creative with the way that they do things to a point where you're like, we got to have some conversations, like Leia flying through space, those kinds of things.
Yeah, the Leia flying through space thing, I had major beef with. I had major beef with it because, first of all, there's no oxygen. All right, but
Right.
I think that we probably there's a huge gap of time between Return of the Jedi and
Force Awakens.
The Force Awakens. So within that time, I'm assuming that maybe Luke and Leia met up and he gave her some Force wielding capabilities. But even then, like the day I see Luke flying through space like Neo from the Matrix, it's gonna be a problem for me, because I'm like, listen, we still have to adhere to biological standards of space, but that's a whole different subject.
And the fact that you even say that, like, I think that if there is new content, or they're coming with new content or new storyline or whatever the case may be, and things start to unfold that you weren't aware of because it was never talked about or never needed to be talked about, when it comes to the Force and the extent or the power of the Force. Like, everything that we know of the Force is from our previous knowledge of the movies that we've seen. But if right now this is, them expanding that, giving us new content, giving us stuff that we're not familiar with, then what would be wrong with at some point finding out that there's more things that because if you're really, really fine-tuned with the Force, or you're really tapped into the Force, that you're capable of doing? Why is that? Why would that be such?
I'm not saying that. All right, you got a good point. I mean, if we learn that the Force gives you the capability of breathing where there's no oxygen, then I'm cool with it. But as of this point, we know that the Force, it channels all things that exist, and it allows you to do some certain things if you can channel that energy. One of the things I was unaware of was the ability to not breathe, or to be in sub-zero levels. I mean, talking like negative 3,000 Kelvin. You know what I'm saying? In space. I'm just curious as to whether or not that's something that otherwise, why haven't we seen Jedi? Why use a ship?
Well, and we also have it established that like whenever they're underwater, they need to have a breathing apparatus. That when Obi-Wan and Anakin went to the Gungan planet, anytime they've visited the Gungans, like they've had breathing apparatuses and stuff. So it's there are things, and it's getting nitpicky, and that's what we Star Wars fans love to nitpick. Like there's no doubt about it. And when new things come up, we're like, all right, let me access all of my knowledge to find out if this makes any sense. And then if it doesn't, then we get mad and we start to get on the internet and argue with each other and stuff like that. And that's just Star Wars fans. And it's kind of what makes it fun in a way. But there are just certain things where you're just like, oh, I don't know if I like the way this is going. But one thing that excited me, like in episode 9 in The Rise of Skywalker, they showed us a little flashback of Luke training Leia. And I was like, that's really cool. That I love that we got to see that. You know what I mean? Like that adds a whole new element of, that post Return of the Jedi, timeline where, Luke and Leia he's training her as a Jedi. That's awesome. You know what I mean? Like those kinds of things. So there's room for new bits of storytelling. There's room for new force powers, like astral projection and stuff like that. There's room for this kind of stuff. And not to get too deep into the weeds on The Last Jedi, but The Last Jedi was just like a really polarizing movie, just all around. And that one was a fun one. That was a fun year after that movie came out for Star Wars fans. There was almost like an armed civil war between Star Wars fans.
Yeah,
it was close.
Yeah, man. Listen, I was not a fan of The Last Jedi for many reasons. I mean, not only how they did my man Finn's love interest, and just kind of diverting him, putting him off to some chick who, blah, blah, blah. But also
really like
yeah, man, like, yo, here, you can't get the main chick, so take one of these, Perkins waitresses. And I'm sorry, that was no disrespect to Perkins, no disrespect to waitresses. But I didn't like that. I didn't like how the thing that really messed me up was like, it doesn't bode well when I'm not familiar with the concept of what the Force can and can't do. We saw Luke use the Force as a holographic image, but also with the ability to transfer physical elements, because he left the with Leia. You know what I'm saying? But he wasn't actually there.
Right.
So how the fuck did that shit happen? And it knocks him out. I mean, look, Last Jedi, sorry y'all, spoiler alert, it's old. He kills himself doing some shit. You know what I'm saying?
Force projecting,
he
yeah, he kills himself.
But in that same, okay, yes.
He kills himself.
Let me finish this thought. In that same breath, the same thing that he used, the astral projection, to go from where he was in his hermit crab, in his rock, over there to the planet where he had to fight against Kylo Ren. Now Kylo Ren and Rey in the Rise of Skywalker are doing that like it's nothing. They're tossing the Force. They're handing lightsabers to each other.
Yeah.
They're throwing rocks from back and forth, and they're doing it like it's nothing. But it kills the biggest, baddest Jedi that we know in the Star Wars universe, at least as we know. So, like, the inconsistencies are just, but like Daniel said, man, that's what we do.
You don't think age had something to do with that? You don't think age had something to do with that?
Go ahead, say it again, Ty.
You don't think age could have had something to do with that?
I don't what?
You don't think age had something to do with that?
Age.
Oh,
like, the fact that they're young and vibrant, full of energy.
Or the fact that Rey is like Palpatine's fucking granddaughter, and fucking Kylo is the fucking son of
taking notes.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like, it's the conundrum that made their love, you know what I'm saying, so powerful, you know what I mean? So that's why they were able to do that. They were the conundrum of the Force that united and had this bond, because like they were connected through like their parents, you know what I'm saying? Like, it was all thing. So it makes sense, like, once you like break it down.
That's actually a really good point. I don't know about the age thing, because Obi-Wan was old as fuck. Darth was old as fuck. All of the Jedi Council were old as fuck. All right, but Rey.
No, but see what I'm referring to, you like see what you're talking about is experience, and what I'm saying is as far as vibrant energy, which you usually have in your youth. You know, like typically at when you're younger, like if you were younger and you're working out, you're gonna be stronger than you would be as you get older. Like you know what I mean? Like they say old man strength and all that kind of stuff, but you know what I'm talking about basically. So
Right.
what I'm saying is like because they're with their youthfulness and the fact that they had the bond you know be why their powers seem to radiate a little bit harder than or hit harder than say a Obi-Wan at that time or whatever. But you know, experience and it just depends on how you look at it.
I think that one of the best things to say, and just to kind of make sure Stephanie is still on board with us here. So the Force is this thing that you use to open the doors at Publix. Now let me stop. Yeah, I'm sure you know what the Force is, but I think that what I'm learning now is that the Force is starting to feel to me like a character in the Star Wars universe, whereas before it was like an entity. It was something that you could channel. As it progresses, we're learning that it lets you do different things. You know what I'm saying? I mean, and what I'm really excited about is the prospect for Mandalorian to start accessing the Force. Like, I think that that's not too far off. I mean, that's why they told us about Tar Vizsla forging this dark saber that he had, and he being half Mandalorian and I don't even half man. It doesn't have to be half. He can be full Mandalorian, full Jedi. You know? It's like the bottom half is Mando, and so I think that I'm learning that the Force in itself isn't a set, just a standard. Like it seems to be evolving. We're even learning about it, kind of like in Star Trek, where they have a spore drive now instead of just using the the warp speed. They're using spore drive, and they can just appear anywhere. They don't even use the elevator in Star Trek no more. they beam to the bridge. But so we're learning that the Force can let you do things. What is that? You said Luke was training Leia, or was that just you would like to see?
No, in episode 9, there was a flashback of Luke training Leia. They were kind of running through the forest, flipping around and stuff like that. I mean, I don't think I dreamed this shit up. Please, somebody help. Like, if I did, because damn, this is a very vivid dream, and I've never done acid, so like, I'd be scared. But like, but no, in episode 9, there was definitely that moment where we kind of got to see, where like how Leia got some training, and part of it I think was so that Leia could kind of like gift Rey that lightsaber.
Oh, I don't know why. For some reason, but then again, it was kind of hard to finish that movie, honestly.
We were all a little bit tired by that point. We were very it was a long couple of years for Star Wars fans.
Yeah, bro, they revived Palpatine like at the last minute. We're like, what? You know what I'm saying? Like, so all these movies, this dude,
Yeah.
But
although episode 9 did give us Babu Frick, I just want to give a shout out to Babu Frick, who is who needs his own show. So yeah, Disney, yeah, exactly. Disney needs to get on that Babu Frick train and do like a, even if it's like a American Pickers type show, or like the one where like they fix motorcycles or whatever. Like, make it like that. Just give us some more Babu Frick. We need it.
Babu Frick was dope. Yeah, man. He did steal the show. I ain't gonna lie. Babu Frick. Google Babu Frick. Steph, you want to make for the Cad Bane. I can't wait to see what you say about Babu Frick. But you know what I'm kind of excited about? The idea was launched on the internet about Boba Fett. Now that he's back, is it possible that we may, even if it's not in this season, see Mr. Mace Windu himself go up against the one and only? And I know that's not Boba Fett in this picture, that's Mando. But how dope would it be if Mace Windu ends up being alive and he has to confront Boba Fett, or Boba Fett has to confront him because, hey, dude, my name is Enrico Montoya. You killed my father. You deserve to die. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm hoping that we get this moment. And what better way to bring in Mace Windu and then hopefully give us the young Mace Windu and show us how that works. The prospect of that excites you, Yaz?
Hell yeah. I mean, I've been saying I'm ready to see that purple lightsaber forever. You know, I'm ready to make my own purple lightsaber at this point. But yeah, I'm definitely ready to see some Samuel L. Jackson fucking chopping niggas up and saying motherfucker. So I'm ready for it all.
That's what he does.
So,
Yo,
so
all right, so that's dope. I mean, there's a couple other things, man. I mean, the episode was so. I mean, the Cad Bane thing really took me. But let's discuss the turn of events that actually happened, and then let's move on and let's talk Peacemaker. So once again, we've got Cobb Vanth. All right, he's back, Mr. Justified himself. And I guess the significant thing, and help me walk me through this because my memory is a little behind. Cobb Vanth in the Mandalorian season 2 loses his armor. Right, he used to have some really dope armor. In fact, that was one of the reasons he met Mando, was because they were both on an armor trek. Now, for some strange reason, Tyrone, I'm drawing a blank, and I wanted to go back to watch what happened there. Like, how did that end up happening? Do you remember how he lost his armor in the first place?
Yeah, so that was Boba Fett's armor, and Cobb Vanth actually got that armor from the Jawas who stole it from Boba Fett. Boba Fett, once Din actually showed up in that area, he noticed that dude had Mandalorian armor on, but was not a Mandalorian. The deal that they made was that Din would help his people kill that giant. I forgot what the crate dragon.
The dragon.
He would help him kill the crate dragon, and then Cobb Vanth would return Boba's armor to Din, and of course after that, Boba tracks his armor to the Mandalorian, and then there's that whole face off with them. But yeah, so it was a deal that they made for Cobb Vanth to give Boba Fett's armor back.
Which they did kill the dragon.
Yes.
Skull, the Jawas were carrying the skull in this last episode, if you guys remember.
Yep, that crate dragon skull. Yeah, and also, go back and watch that episode because Cobb Vanth so far did a better Boba Fett than Boba Fett has done in the book of Boba Fett. So, maybe something to watch.
Yeah. That was a true cowboy standoff though between him and Cad Bane. That was dope.
Yeah. Cobb is a bit of a badass. I'm kind of into him. I was trying to download a picture of this dumbass deputy that had to open up his mouth. And what is wrong with this dude?
He gave me Karen vibes. He gave me real Karen vibes off the top. Like, you can't park there. You can't need to go park up the, like, what? It's a desert, dude. There's no lines here. Like, there's no parking lot in the desert. Like, it's like you didn't hear me. And I love Mando. I love Mando. Like, I heard you.
That dude's the president of the homeowners association. He's out there measuring people's lawns and stuff. You got to cut this grass. Like, that's that dude.
Yeah, man.
Well, I mean, the whole thing is, I can honestly say that as exciting as this is, the only thing that's kind of drawing me, that's kind of making me a little upset. I don't want to say upset, but the only thing that's a little disconcerting is the fact that this whole war is basically a war on drugs. And I don't know how to feel about that. You know what I'm saying? It's like the war on drugs has casualties that look, and they end up doing a lot of time in prison. And, oftentimes they end up stopping certain people of certain colors, maybe green or blue, who knows? But yeah, I don't know if I'm really into this war on drugs, bro. Like, what does spice even do? Has anybody ever seen it?
It probably gets you high. Like, if you gotta think about it. I mean, like, okay, so Austin was like, it's just spice. And I'm like, okay, but obviously there's like you said, there's a drug kind of significance to it. It's illegal. You know what I'm saying? Like, why is it illegal? Like, they didn't never ever mention why it's illegal. So Austin was saying, my fiance, that like maybe they put it on their food, and I'm like, nigga, Mrs. Dash is not gonna be illegal. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, they ain't gonna get some, like, you're gonna go to jail for putting Sasson on your food. Like, the fuck? No. So I'm thinking, like, maybe it's like cocaine or something like that. You know what I'm saying? It's like like, you gotta think about it. It's powder. It's like, it's spice. So like, and with the color of it and everything, I'm thinking it's some kind of like cocaine or something like that. Some kind of hallucinogen, an opioid or something like that. You know what I mean? It's meth times 11. All right, Daniel, I hear that. Is that confirmed? Just asking for a friend,
Well, what if spice is just that? Like you said, it's just spice. Like this whole time we're, we open up the bag of spice and it's curry and adobo. And
Making a little bit more spice in us.
Yeah, man,
good.
just what I'm saying. I mean, it just makes Jabba's frogs taste better. No big deal. But yeah, I don't know if I really dig that, man. Like this whole war on drugs thing. I mean, it feels to me. I hate to say it, in a rare moment of agreement with Tyrone, it feels like very lazy writing to make a war about drugs. Don't get me wrong, I get it, and I can understand the course, how it relates to us in a modern world. But in Star Wars, we've never had like a drug problem. You know what I'm saying? Like, since when do we? Yeah.
Yeah, we lost Vince. But I do think he's got there's a point there, and it's the spice aspect. I'm not even sure if they need it in the book of Boba Fett. I mean, it started as kind of like territorial disputes, and I run this area and you run that area and that kind of thing. So why even inject the spice part of it? Now, maybe it goes somewhere else, and maybe they add a little bit to it. So the addition of the idea of fighting over the spice because it's valuable makes more sense. But other than that, I think right now the only reason the spice is there is just because that's why the Pikes are there. That's why the Pike Syndicate is there. They are there because the spice makes them money, and that's I think the only reason that we even bother with it. So it's, to Vince's point, it as just a device to motivate a set of characters. Like, I guess, okay, we can do it. And it's part of the reason why the show at times is not very strong with its storytelling. But yeah, I mean, the idea of we don't ever see people like using spice.
Right.
Nobody talks about it outside of like the idea of it being valuable to crime organizations. But we don't hear, like, the most I know about spice comes from the Dune movie. That's because it was sort of an inspiration for George Lucas and Star Wars. So it is an interesting point to be like, why are we focused so much on spice with little to no information about what it means to the Star Wars universe?
Right.
Because it actually, to your point, Tyrone, it did have a significance in Dune.
Yes.
I mean, it does, like, it made more sense, with that storyline. But I understand you're, like George, you were a big fan of Dune and everything that they did, and this is, in essence, paying homage, to what was done there. But it would have made just more sense to make it about the planet.
Yeah.
Like, this is like we're battling because this is a port, like, like that we can do a whole bunch of, like, everybody's got to come here. This, this can be this, or it would have been so easy to, it would have been so easy to just make that the storyline, and they're really fighting over territory because Jabba, Jabba had this for so long, and there was a reason he held it for so long, and making that be the storyline and the plot would have made more sense than, oh, well, everybody's getting high and we need that spice, so we got to go over here and take, come on, man.
Yeah, because who are they selling it to? I mean, even like the punk band, they're not, you would expect they were on the corner like doing spice or whatever, but they're just hanging out. Like, nobody uses it. You know what I mean? Nobody makes drinks with it. Nobody makes food with it. Nobody snorts it or smokes it. We saw a tiny bit of spice in the Tuscan ceremony when the lizard went up Boba's nose, and they kind of blew the spice into his face. Which is actually like sort of a little bit of an homage to some real life ceremonies of indigenous peoples of South American cultures. Just a little bit of a fun thing there, but other than that, we haven't really seen anything about spice.
Yeah, can y'all hear me now? Am I back?
Yeah, no, you're back. We got you.
Okay, I'm sorry if my internet's fuzzy. Huh? What?
I said, then the spice looks like sand.
Yeah.
We got fake hustlers out here hustling. That spice show.
Yo, I bet you I'm almost certain that there's like a K2 version of spice. Like somebody selling like fake spice.
Is there a CBD version of spice?
There's a CBD. Somebody's gonna get that shit spiked with fentanyl, bro. I'm trying. Don't fuck with that shit right now. It's not good. But yeah, man. Like, I think, Ty, though, to your point, You know, kind of wrap things up a little bit. With regard to them taking over this planet, I mean, I think that's what they're trying to use this drugs as a way. First of all, why is the whole planet most Isley and most Espa? You know, like there's a huge ass planet. Like, why do we only see like most Isley, most Espa, and Freetown? You know what I'm saying? Like, there's a whole ass planet. Are you telling me that this one syndicate is trying to control this whole ass planet? Or maybe the planet is just a lot smaller. We're so used to being on Earth, we, you know, consider every planet like ours. Maybe the planet is just hella small, and yeah, you know, you can take an Uber to the other side of the planet, and it, you know, only costs a few bucks. But I think that they are fighting for the soul of the planet, and that the Spice Running and the Pike Syndicate is kind of supposed to be that whole, oh, we're coming for the planet. You know, I mean, that was one of the dopest lines in this show from Cad Bane, is when he said, "Tatooine belongs to the Syndicate. As long as the spice keeps running, everyone shall be fine." Or some shit. I was like, oh my God, you know, he pulled a Nino Brown on Tatooine. I was like, this dude is. So I mean, there's a whole lot there. Like, did the Spice hire him? Does he fuck with I mean, excuse my Spice, but the Pikes hire him? Is he just like grandfathered in because he was a bounty hunter around the time when Jabba was, you know, I mean, because we know him from the Clone Wars. But yes, you know what this made me think? You know what this made me think? I know what you think. I know you think of what I'm thinking. If we have at this point gotten BD1, we've gotten Cad Bane,
okay,
and we're in a Boba Fett series, it's only a matter of time before your girl Omega shows up on the scene. Am I right?
Yep.
Like, she has to show up. I mean, Omega in Boba Fett season 2, I believe, will be prevalent, and I'm here for it. I mean,
so if you remember, Cad tried to kidnap her.
Yes, exactly.
So
exactly.
now that's
Finnick too, yo.
I know, but that's what I'm saying though. But that was like, you know, before Fennec obviously like worked for Boba. So
Right.
That's what I'm getting at. I'm just like, I've been saying this since day one. If she shows up, oh shit, like that's gonna be fucking epic. You know what I'm saying? Like, they did mention that he had a sibling in this whole season. So I'm just sitting here just waiting for it, like a live action fucking Omega. Like, what?
I get the feeling we're going to get it, Yaz. I honestly do. Like, I feel like it's going to happen because we're getting all these live action characters. We got Black Chrysanthemum now. We got the 2 Jabbas. You know what I'm saying? We've now got Cad Bane. I mean, they're doing live actions, and so it's real easy to do. I mean, she just looks human. She's a clone, and so how hard would it be to just cast somebody as Omega? I mean, my question is, who makes a good selection?
They should do Tamora Morrison in a blonde wig.
So wait, no, remember you guys were all complaining. Okay, all of you guys were complaining that her voice was super annoying. You know what I'm saying? Like her accent and shit. So like, who is gonna be able to master that Australian /
New Zealand
British accent? You know what I'm saying? Because like, we don't really know like where the fuck she's from.
Also, like, you know, being that they are kind of composed of the same DNA, Yaz, the question is like, do they look like Jango Fett? You know what I'm saying? He just basically said he should just put a wig on the Boba Fett.
Right. I was wondering that.
I don't know if that's, you know what I'm saying? So I would obviously he's much younger, and I thought about the whole timeline thing that we discussed last week as it pertains to how old Boba Fett is in relation compared to Mandalorian. Let's remember, Boba Fett was around before Luke was born, when Anakin was a teenager. He was yet a Padawan when Boba Fett picked up the helmet from with Jango Fett's head in it. So I mean, this dude is hella. I mean, he's up there. You know what I'm saying? And I don't know when Mandalorian came around, but he's clearly not of the same age. So I think you had a good point there. But I'm just curious, man. If we do get an Omega, I wonder if we could get like Omega with
Omega.
She would be older. She'd have to be.
She would have to. Well, actually, we're in the Bad Batch.
Like a teenager, right? Because she's like in the Bad Batch. I feel like she's like around like maybe 10 to 12 years old ish. You know what I'm saying? Like around like Kiki's age. You know what I'm saying? Like that's how I feel.
Right.
like her age range is at. So if we do get a live action one, she would have to definitely be older. And I'm thinking like maybe 19 to 21 at max would be like the age range, you know, they would try to fit her in, because like time-wise line, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm just trying to match all this shit and everything together, and that's where she would be at. She would be like a young adult, you know what I'm saying? Like very, very young adult. So
Yeah.
I'm very curious to see who they're gonna cast and what she's gonna sound like, because that's gonna be very interesting.
Yeah, I think if I'm not mistaken, the Bad Batch takes place between episodes 2 and 3, right? Because or is it 3 and 4? Whatever, because it's right after orders. Yeah, right after Order 66. So like it's right after you know the clones started killing the Jedi, blah blah blah. So she would be, I think, probably like a little bit younger than Boba, right? Like just a little bit though, not much. Like they'd be closer to the same age than we think, right? Does that make sense?
I mean, I think it does. If there's anybody, if anybody in the comments has any insight to this, we are looking to get some more info. So thank y'all so much for providing us with. Okay, so
10 years younger. That's not too bad.
10 years younger than Boba. Okay.
Yeah, that's an easy one to pull off.
I mean, we're obviously taking your word for it. Here,
Seriously Black got he got some credentials. We know what's up with Seriously Black.
Yeah, I think Seriously Black is a.
So Vince, are we doing predictions for next week? You got predictions?
Yeah, I want to do predictions for next week. Right after just the last subject about this week's episode was, of course, giving our good friend his props. Oh man, I didn't get a chance to put this in. But yes, as you all know, Tyrone last week, we did actually ask what we thought this item was going to be, and for some strange reason, out of all of the guests that we had, the only one who was even remotely, first of all, not only right, but took it seriously.
Sorry.
Was Tyrone. So, like, yo, man, tell us how did you know, bro? I mean, I dare I say that you had some insight. How did you know?
Just the context clues of the episode is all really. They, the armorer was adamant that Beskar should only be used for armor. So that kind of narrowed it down. And then during the montage of her actually, melting down the Beskar and creating whatever this gift was, you saw little like circular links being dropped, and that was just, to me that was the tell, and it was just like, oh, okay, that's chainmail. So I was like, let me go ahead and pretend that I'm some sort of prophetic individual and just drop this little bit. And nobody, like, not everybody knows what chainmail is. I just happen to be a big enough geek to know what the hell chainmail is, so it helped me out.
Yeah, you said it matter of factly. And just to channel Touré, remember, chainmail is just a metal mesh tank from Jamaica. Yeah, and I love Stephanie's. So with that being said, guys, let's do the predictions now. All right. So at the end of this episode, well, before we do the predictions, that'll be the last thing we do. I did want to ask y'all real quick about what you thought about Luke's appearance. All right, if you recall, this is Luke. All right, we know Luke, but this is who we've been given in the last few years. Are we pleased with this? Are we okay? Is this CGI? I saw that Luke was actually cast in the credits. It said Mark Hamill. So is this a CGI character? What's going on here, bro?
So it looks like they're using a younger actor for body stuff, and they're using the deepfake technology to give him Luke's face. And then I imagine that Mark Hamill's role is just voiceover acting, which is something that he's very, very good at. One of the best voice actors of our time, amazing voice actor. So I mean, I think it works. I think it works beautifully. It wasn't distracting. You know what I mean? It wasn't a thing where you were like, ooh, that looks bad. Because at the end of that season 2 Mandalorian episode, it was like, I'm happy to see it, but also, you know what I mean? So we didn't have to have that feeling this time. They actually pulled it off beautifully. And, it just like even the movements, when he was using the lightsaber and stuff like that, they obviously were taking care with, Luke's appearance, Luke's mannerisms, Luke, his fighting style and stuff. So it was really cool.
Can we talk about him training Grogu and like swinging him as they're walking?
I love that.
That was a fucking adorable. And
I love that. Yeah.
the whole thing that got me though, with like that scene and everything, and then Ahsoka bringing him the chainmail and him getting so upset about, you know, Din Djarin coming to see him and bringing him that, like, and then he just, you know what I'm saying, then right after he was like, good boy R2, like, bitch, you just told him you no attachments, and then you're like, R2, my child I've seen forever, like, bitch. I don't know. I had a lot of problems with that scene. That was just my only quarrel with that.
Yo, man, that's crazy, man. Yeah, I liked when I saw Luke was basically, Luke basically had little Grogu on one of those Disney leashes. You see
like,
him running around, and he was like using the Force to get
the Force releashed.
Yeah, the Force released. And then he taught him how to do the amazing feat of jumping, which is awesome. You know what I'm saying? Because that's how Yoda fights. And the thing is, baby Grogu is the only thing that motivates him is his stomach. The first thing he does, Luke is sitting there trying to say grace, and baby Grogu's like, "Yo, there's some frogs in here that I could eat like shit right now." You know what I'm saying? They probably came from eggs too. This dude is completely, he's gonna be the.
Did you say he was trying to say grace?
I
thought they were meditating.
I thought they were meditating too.
These are jokes, bro.
That was a good joke, man.
Thank you.
It was funny.
He gets it. You know what I'm saying? He's meditating. All right, but I mean, it looks like Thanksgiving dinner grace from where I'm from, and Yoda, and then baby Yoda's like,
long.
You know what I'm saying? No, you over there. I'm just gonna go ahead and handle these frog legs. Like, you know what I'm saying? And then Luke's like, "No, I'll give you all the frog legs. You can learn how to do this shit yourself." There was so many similarities, Stephanie, to the original Star Wars movies, the ones that everybody fell in love with, Birthday Girl. And this particular episode, there was a flashback to the Dagobah system, and Luke even did the flip. He jumped over and flipped over. I was waiting. I was like, is he gonna do flip? I even uploaded it on YouTube. Yeah, with Grogu. He had Grogu on his back. So yeah, man, this was very nostalgic, which I think Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau have learned that Easter eggs mean views. All right, but that's why I think there's a few different types of Star Wars fans. Like there's the look, do this shit right or fuck you. You know what I'm saying? Then there's like the, oh, that's dope. And then there's like the, yo, I just live for just to see the shit that they bring up on screen. I think I'm one of those people. But you were about to say something yet, Steph?
Yeah, I was not a big fan of Luke in this episode. He was giving me strong, jealous stepdad vibes. Like, I'm not convinced that he was going to offer Grogu the lightsaber until the Mandalorian showed up with a gift. It felt very like stepdad, I'm going to Legoland with my dad this Saturday. And then, stepdad gets on the computer real quick. Oh, well, I got Disney tickets for the week, but, go wherever you want to go. It's up to you. Like, it was like, it felt real jealous. I didn't like it.
Said, I got Disney tickets for the week, but do you go wherever you want?
Right.
He's like, hey, look, you could have the little chainmail or whatever, but what Daddy number one got you is this big device that can slice through armor.
Not only that, but he told him if you take the chainmail, you will be returned back to Din Djarin.
Right.
And then if you take the light, and your training will be done from here. Your Jedi training will be done. He literally gave him that was the ultimate ultimatum. He's like, or you can have a lightsaber and look.
I do just want to say if Grogu chooses to just kind of go, do the chainmail and go at the Force stuff by himself, we have an opportunity to have a really dark villain in the future.
Yes.
And like a really dark villain, like, because that's a powerful little dude, and we've already seen that he does not necessarily have a lot of value for life. Like he'll do whatever. So this could be really, really good. I honestly I'm kind of rooting for like a Darth Grogu situation.
Yo,
let
us give credit where credit is due. It was first. Oh, this one. Yes.
Yeah.
I definitely said he was gonna go dark in like when season 2 happened. I definitely dropped that. I said, yo, I'm feeling some dark Yoda vibes right now. Like, I don't know, that attachment, man. So
yeah, she did say it. I do think that is a little weird that the attachment is Mandalorian. I mean, is he not allowed to have a father, an apprentice, like somebody to look up to? This is not like the attachment with Anakin and Padme. You know what I'm saying? I don't get like why it's so bad that. Hold on, wait. Yo, Steph, what is that? What was that? What
On blast.
It's sparkling water, but it's my birthday, so I'm drinking it.
is it sparkling water?
Sparkling water, is that champagne? Let's be serious.
Yeah, right.
It's this. It's like,
Oh,
yeah.
just in the
I like
face
how
of
she
it.
got a champagne.
Sounds tasty.
Yeah.
like do the bougie, like pinky and everything, girl. Like it's your birthday. Yes, that's right there. Thank you.
Okay, I thought that was, you know what I'm saying, some Pinot Grigio or something. I don't know what's going on. But yeah, man, that's weird to me. So the fact that the attachment here is coming from the guy who rescued him from being killed, you know what I'm saying, and taken by Moff Gideon, even though he claims he didn't want to kill him, he just wanted to, extract his DNA or whatever. I think is a little interesting because especially when Luke, he knows damn well, Luke, talk to me, Luke. Hold on, let me get straight to screen with Luke and me in my Motel 4. Luke, you know damn well that is a bullshit ass option to offer baby Grogu, homeboy. What the fuck did you do when Yoda got mad at you and says, no, you're not ready. You must continue the training. Did you stay there and continue the training with your pussy ass? No, you went and helped Han. You went and helped Leia. And now you sitting there trying to get us through the ultimatum. Yo, shame on you, Luke. Shame on you. Slap yourself with your fake hand, homeboy. All right, sorry. I'm back to this.
So just remember this, okay?
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, sorry. Just remember this, okay? So in the episode, they literally clarified the way of the Mandalorian is loyalty and trust.
Ooh, and they're opposites.
The way of the Jedi is to have no attachments. So just think, loyalty and trust is a family, is having your back. You know what I'm saying? It's having your circle. It's having people who got you. And a Jedi is all by themselves. Yes, they do have families and stuff like that, but they're not allowed to have attachment. That is against the code. You got to think about it. He is trying to mold him into being a Jedi, not a Mandalorian and Jedi. He wants him to be one, not both. And Tarn wants him to be whatever's going to make him happy. He doesn't care because he's like, that's like his dad. That's his people. He's like, I just want you to be happy. That's literally what he says. Is he happy? Is he okay? That's literally what he said. That's all he wants to know.
Are you happy? Are you happy? Are you happy? Well, listen, let's go ahead and do predictions. Let's jump over to this Peacemaker, man. Good points. Yaz is on fuego, if I may say so myself, like with the predictions. Like she predicted Cad Bane was going to show up. She predicted that Grogu, even though he hasn't done it yet, but she predicted this pathway that he could be presented with the option of going Sith. And even though that hasn't been, made clear in the episode, Sith, Mando, whatever, that's the whole thing. And then also the prospect for Omega. So let's see what happens. But for right now, I'm curious, guys. What do y'all think baby Grogu is going to decide? I want to go around the whole panel, starting with Ty, then Tyrone, then Yaz and Stephanie. What is it choice? Now that he's been given the option, do you believe that baby Grogu is going to make Tyrone? What say you, friend?
Oh, let me start with me. I think that I think he'll choose the chainmail. I don't think that Grogu is like super focused and super into the whole Jedi thing. So I think he'll choose the chainmail. That's my thought.
Okay. Talene, what say you, bro?
I also think he'll choose the chainmail. I think that bond that he has with Din Djarin is father-son like, and it just makes sense. It makes sense because if at all, at some point he wants to change his mind, well, guess what? Daddy has a nice little dark saber you can get at any time you want it. Well, your stepdaddy didn't give you the saber, huh? Well, guess what? Guess what I got for your son, baby.
That's a good one. Yaz, what say you? What do you think he's going to choose?
So I'm against you guys. I actually think he's going to take the lightsaber only because of his curiosity, and he's still young. And Din Djarin will always be there, and he knows that. And Jedi training can start and stop anytime he wants it to. So I think that he's going to take the lightsaber, and he's going to learn a little bit, and then get fucking annoyed with Luke's little jealousy and bullshit, and bounce on that motherfucker, and then go put his chainmail on and find that shit and be like, I'm going home, bitch.
Damn, what does he have to do it so angry? Jesus.
Yes, it's in spite, because why give him that mega ultimatum? You could either or, and I'll save this for you. You know what I'm saying? He was like, you go back, you quit your training. Like, bitch, he's always gonna be a Jedi. The fuck? So it's, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's my prediction.
Good point. Steph, do you have a prediction?
I do. Don't fix it if it ain't broke. I agree with what Tyrone said. But actually, honestly, logistically, I think it makes more sense for Grogu to go with Din Djarin, because they probably have another season of The Mandalorian planned already. So they just continue doing that. If he stays with, what is it, deep fake Mark Hamill, that's a lot more work they got to do to keep showing him there.
Yeah. So you so you do think that he's going to go with the Mandalorian? Just so we're clear, that's you're not.
I believe that is what Tyrone said. So.
All right. Well, I'm going to break with everybody. And I think that he's going to somehow, because we're often given these choices, and then we think that the choice exists within that box. I don't know if y'all ever had that trick question where they give you the 9 dots and they say, make sure that the line touches all dots without, going overlapping. And then you realize, oh, I can go outside the box. Like, they never tell you that. I think that Grogu and is going to take the chainmail and the lightsaber. I think that he is going to do both. I don't think he'll do them both at the same time. Okay, I think he'll take the chainmail, he'll see Mando, and I think that he will still find a way to have the lightsaber. And I think that I'm agreeing with some of the comments that Grogu and Mando are going to usher in a new era of Mandalorian hybrid Jedis. Nice. And that's what we're seeing the beginning of. I think that this whole concept of of 2 options is a farce. And I think that that's what the test is. That Luke is like, look, bro, here, you can choose these 2. And he has to figure out, like, look, I don't, because you didn't either. And neither did Anakin. And everybody could sit there and talk about Darth Vader, but he also was the one that brought what's the word? It brought balance to the Force. Despite killing hella people, including Alderaan in the process, he ultimately in his redemption was bringing balance to the Force by getting rid of the what we thought was getting rid of Palpatine. So I think that go ahead, bro.
I just real quick, because in season 2 of Mandalorian, didn't what is the Moff Gideon?
Moff Gideon, yeah.
Didn't Moff Gideon at some point when he had Grogu as a prisoner, didn't he pull out the Darksaber and like show it to Grogu, and then Grogu he was like, "Would you like that?" or something like that?
Yeah.
Wasn't he like putting it near him or something?
Yeah.
Yeah, he definitely showed it off. Yeah.
Yeah. So this isn't Grogu's first time seeing a lightsaber.
No, and also he has he saw plenty of lightsabers as when he was being trained in the the Jedi Academy.
Yeah.
And then Order 66 happened, so he's used to lightsabers. It's not something new for him.
Oh, okay. But he's never seen chainmail before, right?
And he would probably not have seen chainmail. He would not have seen Beskar chainmail.
Let's not forget, Tylee, like in this episode, Luke actually said, "Oh, it's not like I'm training him. It's more like he's remembering." You know what I'm saying? Then I'm training him. So a lot of the stuff that he's learning now is just coming back from evidently some sort of repressed memories from that Order 66 moment when freaking, and if you notice, I thought that at first glance, I thought that he was in the room with the kids when Anakin came into the room, but it's a completely different scene. He was with some other Jedis. You know what I'm saying? And we don't know who those. At first, it looked like Rey, and I was like, that doesn't make sense timeline wise.
No.
You know what I'm saying? So the question now is like, who were those Jedi that had him? Who else was he with? Why was he the lone survivor? You know what I'm saying? Like there's a whole bunch of stuff that is now started to come to the forefront for it. So I'm
they
here
did not
for
show their faces. They made it that you could tell like that was something a point of like that, to not show the faces of the Jedi who were getting killed right there. Like they just showed the back camera angle. They made sure not to show their faces. So
I sure for one second, for a split second, thought that it was Rey because she had that the girl had like that's a similar haircut. You know what I'm saying?
It was a dude.
It was. There was a dude and it was two people, right?
It was it was a dude. The guy the person you're talking about with the hair was a guy.
Oh, it was. Oh,
yeah, the dude in the front with the bun, the bun. At first, when I first saw him from the back, I thought it was Obi-Wan.
Right.
I was like, when you first see it, I was like, was that Obi? But they made sure not to show it, and so it was like,
okay. All right. Well, listen, the Book of Mandalorian, which is basically what it is right now, is not disappointing. Good episode this week, in my opinion. Bane, bro. I mean, this changes so. I mean, good lord, bro. This Bane, literally, Steph could have his own show. He's that fascinating of a character. I like the description that I think either Minnie or Daniel gave. He said he's basically John Wick had a baby with Clinton Eastwood, and that's Bane. You know what I'm saying? So, and it's also had a lot of Western culture references in it. I mean, they practically met at high noon in front of the saloon for the shootout, so we peep you, and we're going to keep on watching for, I believe, the season finale next week. Is that right, Tyrone?
Yes.
I think that's the case. Mm-hmm.
All right, so season finale, we'll be tuning in, and I got a feeling
we're going to ride the Rancor into battle.
Yes, we're going to see. Yes, they're going to rally. The Star Wars Super Friends will be in the building next week, so we will be there. But right now, man, I got to get into some of this Peacemaker. We're running low on time here. We started a little late, but yeah, man, the Peacemaker was a good episode this week, for my opinion. I don't know what y'all thought about it. Yes, please, Steph, please.
I just want to say one side tangent real quick. If you see me randomly smiling, it's because I can't stop thinking about it. Next week, we're going to be in this room with the vet Nicole Brown.
Yes, it's the truth. Yes, that's true, Steph. We are going to have the one and only Yvette Nicole Brown here on the panel with us. Spoiler alert, she may not be on cam. She requested to not be on cam. She said, can I just put my picture on the what you call it? I was like, look, you do whatever you want. You know what I'm saying? She's like, do I call in, zoom in? I was like, look, whatever. So we will have her for 15 to 20 minutes if all goes well. So yes, that's correct, y'all. So set your reminders, set your timers. We will be talking with her specifically about Phyllis Jenkins. It's about Phyllis Jenkins, her character in the Marvel Cinematic Universe that we just learned from her was the one who named her. And Stephanie.
Yep.
Stephanie is
catching white dudes doing creepy stuff all day. I love it.
Stephanie, you may have to lead this interview. We're going to talk about. We're going to have rehearsal.
I'm ready.
This is I believe going to be the first. What's up, front desk?
Check out.
What's up, brother? I'm here for the weekend.
Bruce came to get your money.
You need new towels. You need new
towels. Hey, I need cups for the coffee. I'm in here. Yes, I'm here. Can I help you? What's up? Yeah, I'm here. What's up? I am. I'm in 38. That's the.
He was just making sure that he was like, man, I was about to steal your shit, but since you're there, I guess not.
All right, he's like, damn it, he's still in there, can't get that shit, gotta wait till later.
He was coming for the last coffee pack that's left. He probably is. All right, but anyway, so this week, man, we had Peacemaker, man. I feel like Peacemaker, these last two episodes have been somewhat developmental, although we did in this episode have some pretty some pretty stark developments. But I'm just curious what you all thought of the episode. Let's go around the room. Let's start with Stephanie, go to Yaz, then Tyrone, then Talim. Steph, what say you about Peacemaker this week?
I thought it was cool. I'm still trying to put together what's going on with the diary. Was that
Right.
to set him up to be the fall guy all along? I'm a little confused there.
Okay.
I thought it was super stupid that he kept Goff in a jar, but what do we expect? Peacemaker is not the brightest, crayon in the box.
Right.
But it was interesting. I dare say I'm enjoying it.
Yay! Well, look at that. That's progress. Wow. Yes. What about you?
I don't know. I kind of felt like this last episode was like, it was informative, but it was a little just like lacking from the other ones. That's just you know what I'm saying? Like just of the shit that was going down. But I did think it was super interesting, that, Golf escaped and went into that Chinese lady, and that now the whole fucking police station is a fucking butterfly. Like, that shit was nuts to me. I was like, oh my God, the world is ending today. So yeah, that was pretty interesting. I don't like how they the whole showing how the butterflies just take over people. Like, what the fuck is happening to them? Because they're just like bleeding from their mouths and then just like having an epileptic fit or like a seizure. I thought that was super weird. So I was like, are they like killing their brain connectivity to their body so that way they're controlling their brain? Maybe that's how they, you know what I'm saying? Like, why the butterflies like kill them once they leave their body. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. It was just super weird. Like, I want to know how they can access like their memories and their feelings, before, and like how like they're, I don't know, it's just a lot of scientific stuff that I was just like, this is fucking nuts. Like, oh my God.
Well, I think I may have some insight into that, but it's there's no facts. It's just based on what I've seen. But I just want to start off by saying we want to apologize to our Asian viewers. We don't know if she's Chinese or Korean or Japanese, Filipino, or just from San Francisco. This is just like the Chinese chick. We're like, oh shit.
We know she's not Oriental.
The Chinese chick.
We know she's not Oriental.
My bad. I don't know what she is, and I'm sorry. I just like the Oriental woman. I like her.
No, literally not Oriental. Yeah, you can't say that. Why can't you say? I don't know why.
That shit was so funny when they said that, though. That was so great when they said that. No lie, that was like one of the funniest scenes ever. Oh my God.
It is.
But yeah, I liked that lady. I like her character, but I don't know what nationality she is. But yeah,
I'm just giving you a hard time. It's not that serious. I'm just kidding around. I take every moment to take a joke. But I'm gonna toss it to Tyrone for his opinion. But I do think that one thing that we do know is that when Peacemaker uses his X-ray goggles, he sees the butterflies in their brains.
Right.
So I would speculate that the butterflies are going through the mouth and somehow finding their way to the brain. And then they're flying people, kind of like in Men in Black when the dude was driving that guy. I think that they're driving people from their brains. And I think that's what we're seeing is they're digging through their mouth and finding ways into their brains. And that's how they're, as to how they end up controlling people, I don't know. But I do think that they're going into the brain. Tyrone, what you thought about the episode, bro?
Yeah, no, another great episode. This show has been consistently good. I'm with you on the brain thing, and I think those people have to die in order to be taken over by butterflies. I think those people are for all intents and purposes dead and being used by another being now. Like,
right.
So that's something to consider when we're talking about like what is the motivation of the butterflies and stuff. There's a lot that's happening in this show. Like you're right. The diary is a whole thing. Amanda Waller's got one way she's going. Mern has his own motivations based on, his butterfly deal. And I mean, it's pretty wild. So I'm wondering if they're going to be able to wrap this up nice and tight, or if we're going to end up, looking at a cliffhanger type situation at the end of this season. It's at this point, because of all the stuff that has happened, and especially in the last two episodes, the way the story has moved forward so quickly, and so many different things have opened up, I'm wondering where it's going. But I really am enjoying the ride. It's super funny, super fun. Vigilante is always hilarious. Eagly got pretty dark this episode.
Yeah,
That was
gonna mention
fun. Yeah, Vigilante. He even impressed Vigilante, which I mean, if you're gonna impress that psychopath, that says something. So yeah, but overall, I really enjoy the show. I'm enjoying the ride. It's so much fun.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I love Eagly's violent streak. This episode definitely made me a big Eagly fan, and I've never really been a huge Bald Eagle fan. Ty, what you thought about the episode, homeboy?
I loved it. I mean, we've been asking, you know, what about 2-3 episodes now. You know, what are the butterflies like? What is their, you know, reasoning for being here, and what's the purpose? And we're kind of finding out
Right.
pretty much what it is, based on what Mern has told us, that they, you know, that there were a faction of butterflies that decided at some point that, hey, let's just go take over the human race. So they started to take over, you know, high positions in, you know,
Society.
in society, and then you have a faction that's not against it. I mean, that's not trying to take over the world, which Mern is a part of. I'm assuming there's more than just him. We haven't seen that yet to confirm that, but I would also, you know, it's kind of leading you to believe that there may be more supporters that Mern has as well. But I think this episode for me was very telling as far as the conflict that is going on internally inside of Peacemaker. We now know that he, you know, he's really at the point where he just doesn't want to kill people anymore.
Mhm.
You know, and that is significant because your job is to kill people.
Right.
So that's gonna be tough. He's like, yeah, you know, I don't mind killing butterflies. So it's gonna be interesting to see what happens when he accidentally kills you know, a human being, because I can see just the buffoonery that's going on, that absolutely will happen at some point. Um the things that Stephanie said about Vigilante, um I recant my original disagreement with you, Stephanie. You were absolutely positively correct in your diagnosis of this gentleman. He's fucking nuts. And that's just, he's fucking nuts. Um and so then you have the captain, who also, by the way, is pretty nuts. I don't know if you guys watched the after credits
Yeah.
or the post credits,
Yeah.
Oh
where
my
he's just
God.
sitting there trying to convince himself to be
Hilarious.
here, and he's just laughing, just fucking laughing, like, and that shit is just like, I mean, that whole scene of him just killing, he was like, Peacemaker was like, he killed somebody that was unconscious, like, already out, dude, like, and he still killed him. So there was a lot. I don't know if anybody else picked up the Easter egg of Adebayo's girlfriend,
Yeah.
making making that statement about going back to Gotham.
Yep.
Apparently they came from Gotham. And she you know, she then let her know that, hey, I don't want to have a job, and she's like, hey, I'll just get some money from my sister. And typically whenever you say something like that, you know, your sister better have some bread, you know, if
Right.
we're talking about starting our life anew based on, you know, that that
Right.
comment. So I really think that maybe later on we'll find out that her girlfriend is somehow related to Batwoman.
Right.
I'm
Yo,
saying it now.
well, I mean, let's examine that for a little bit, because what that would mean is that they're attempting to DC to
Mhm.
finally have some synergy in their shows. You know what I'm saying? Where a DC show on HBO Max can correlate with content on CW. That's pretty badass. And
It's
let's
pretty
keep it real. This might generate some interest for this show that I had zero interest in. I'm gonna keep it real because of the Batman origins of it. But yeah, we have this whole time for at least, I think this show's been out for at least one season. Had this black girl Batwoman that we have not been given any like attention to. Steph, there's a black girl Batwoman. and her girlfriend, I mean, her sister, evidently is in Peacemaker. What do you think about that?
How did nobody tell me we have another black girl starring in a superhero show? I will make a Batman hate exception when a black woman is involved. I'm gonna have to tune in.
Yo, so you think you now? I must warn you, it's a CW show, all right, which means there'll be no ugly people in it. That's good, all right, but it also means that the storyline is going to be like really sappy, really high school teeny boppery. Like it's going to be Full House meets the the DC comics.
That's my favorite.
Oh God.
I don't know if I can get back into the seat, man. After the Arrowverse and the first 3 seasons of Flash, I could do the Legends of Tomorrow for a little bit. I like the mashups when they all meet up. Black Lightning was dope. The second season was hella dope.
Yeah, I'm about to say that whole as a whole, Black Lightning was not dope. But there are seasons of Black Belt, and
season 2
the acting of particular people on the show was superb. My man, Lala kills it, and so does my man
the dude, the boyfriend dude.
No.
The albino dude.
Yes, I didn't want to say albino dude, but we'll. But I guess that's what
we're politically correct.
He's Oriental, right? I think he's Oriental.
I mean, I don't know if it's right or wrong. So it's like I just
my
but
bad.
Marvin, his name
is
Marvin
Burston.
Crondon. I wanted to say his whole name, but it's Crondon. So, but yeah, he's absolutely excellent at what he does.
Did anybody notice this episode? There was a line, there was a scene, there was one line that I for whatever reason it stuck out to me, and this was indicative of the writing that James Gunn is insisting on putting in this show, which I love him for it. There was a part at the very beginning where Adebayo was like, basically Peacemaker was sitting there complaining about not being able to say, I mean, Vigilante was like, he was like Asian and she was like, no,
Oriental.
Oriental. He's like, no, you can't say that. And he's like, well, why not? You know, and he's going through it. And then Adebayo's like, oh, the trials of the white man having to, oh my God, like, figure out what to call it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And he was like, I said it's fuck. Like, you could see like that moment stuck out to me because I'm thinking of the writing, right? I'm thinking of somebody wrote this in to the script and had a purpose for it. And this is a theme recurring in Peacemaker to address these bullshit inequalities and the absurdity of certain folks of white background, caucasity, of trying to claim that this is a struggle. Like, you have to now learn how to say Asian instead of Oriental, and you're bitching about it. You know what I'm saying? Your dad has a freaking whole garage with armor in it. Like, you grew up, you know what I'm saying? Like, you're tripping about that? Like, give me a break. So it was pretty revealing. I want to shout out James Gunn for that. That was a good way to bring that into the fold. And I think that's one of the things about Peacemaker that sets it aside from other shows is that, like Falcon and Winter Soldier, it does not shy away from these difficult topics, Tyrone. And I think that's what makes me like it so much.
Yeah, I think it's part of the evolution of how entertainment is going to be going. It's like we can't just you're going to have stuff that's going to be lighthearted and it's going to be fantastical, and it's it's not going to be rooted in the kind of like the day-to-day struggles of modern day life. But when you're dealing with characters that live in a world that's supposed to mirror ours, then we have to deal with shit. We have to acknowledge that stuff is happening, that conversations are happening, and James Gunn's doing a great job. I think he should be used as an example of just how to have these conversations. And like you said, Falcon and Winter Soldier, they did an excellent job with that. They had some really, really tough conversations in that show. And I love to see that this is happening, that we get this great entertainment, we get funny stuff, we get we get ridiculous action, we get there's room for it. It doesn't have to be one thing or the other. It can be everything. It can be respectful. It can be hilarious. It can be dirty. It could be raunchy. Like it can be everything. So right. I'm glad that this show goes, is another show that proves that.
Yeah, I mean, Steph, did you catch that moment? By the way, thanks for making the for the point. Yaz, you're off the hook. Evidently, she is actually Chinese. So score one for you and your identity politics. So my apologies.
Just saying, it's all about the bridge of the nose. No, I'm just kidding.
All right, there it is.
And then she went left.
I had to yes, but I lost.
She went left.
Just immediate
Gotta be
digression.
there for you, but
Oh, that was so great though. All y'all are laughing, bro. That was great. You know it. Oh my god.
Yeah, that's funny.
Oh,
You're funny. But yeah, Steph, did you catch that moment when Adebayo basically culture slapped Peacemaker in the face with some truth syrup and was like, "Look, white boy, you're sitting there with the freaking alien helmet, and you're complaining about, you're going around killing people. You're complaining about having to, address people as a certain nationality. Yo, fuck you."
No, I loved it. And I also really appreciated, I'm not sure if it was this episode or last, but the vigilante said that he mostly kills white people. I was like, you know what? I appreciate that. Because this is it made sense to me that he is clearly not racially profiling. He's just targeting people based on the kind of crimes that he has a problem with. And it just, he's acknowledged that white people commit a lot of crime. It's just a thing everyone knows. We should, address them more often in society.
That was so hilarious. He's like, "Well, I'll kill more white people."
Yeah.
I'm here for it. Yo, Tyrone, man. So it looks like the red what was his name? The dragon.
The white dragon.
White dragon is now in his armor. My question is, what the fuck does his armor do? What is his super? I haven't researched any of this. What is the purpose? Like what? And I could not help and oh my god, I can't be the only one that thought that when I saw those hoods, somebody was going to be like, you know what? The hoods were, let's just say they were a good idea.
Yeah, I can't see shit.
Right?
Yeah.
Who cut these assholes? Don't ask me and mine for nothing. Sons of bitches.
Yeah. No, the white dragon thing is crazy though, and I would think that just because of his access to otherworldly technology and the fact that he made these Peacemaker helmets and all the stuff that they can do, I'd imagine that this white dragon armor has some stuff up his sleeves. So I would imagine that there's going to be a very superhero-esque showdown between him and maybe Vigilante and Peacemaker, or who knows, maybe Peacemaker is kind of reaching the end of his rope as his as his crew starts to kind of keep secrets from him and stuff like that. So there might be some interesting turns, but I feel like they're going to do a lot with this white dragon character to to make him formidable and scary and and a crazy villain.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just happy, honestly, that he's not the main villain, because that would suck. But just because we don't know what the extent of his power is, so I'm actually happy that Annie, Sophie, I think her name is on the show, the Asian Chinese lady, is now come to the forefront with those butterflies. And it now seems like a civil war between butterflies. You got the butterflies that are benevolent, like Mern, who, even though he had to kill somebody, he chose a murderer, evidently, so that it would not be comfortable while he's in that body. Go ahead.
I have a big question about the whole the whole cop dude and everything. So I was under the impression that he was already a butterfly.
Right. Yeah. Well, that's because I mistakenly last week claimed that he was a butterfly.
Well, no. Just like his aneurysms and certain things about him, you know what I'm saying, like how he does shit like that. The whole ending scene alone made me think he was a motherfucking butterfly. And he was just like, okay, I got this. Like, who does that? You're playing with the dead guy's hand and laughing, trying to cry. You know what I mean? So I already assumed he was a butterfly, and then watching him get taken over, that was fucking nuts. I was definitely a little surprised by that, because who else does Mern have contact with that knows he's a butterfly? You know what I'm saying? So that's what I'm kind of it's kind of questioning me right now.
Yeah, I mean that's a good question. Or that's a good observation. I thought he was. It was frankly, it was telling that he not only wasn't a butterfly, but that he was. It felt like he was the one that ran the hardest from it. Like he locked himself in the office. You know what I'm saying? Like they was not playing, and they got his ass, bro. And now I'm wondering like how different will he be as a butterfly? You know what I'm saying? Like you already saw he was at the press conference. He was talking a lot different. And it is
Did you
revealing.
see them smiling? Like
Yeah,
trying to smile. That was like
it's very, very
like that was fucked up.
Mars Attacks. Very Stepford vibes. But I want to go back to Stephanie's question, Ty, about the journal and the diary and the contents of it. I guess the objective was for Amanda Waller to frame the Peacemaker as the one who killed all these people, and also use him as a scapegoat to explain the significant the butterfly phenomenon. Did you catch that, or am I missing something? Or does that make any sense to you, Ty? Bad Ty?
As far as what now?
Well, what the diary was planted by Amanda Waller's daughter with the intent of framing him for those murders. And also they included, there was a specific intent to include in there the information about the butterflies.
Yeah, it's a dossier.
So the question I have is like, was that the intent? Did she successfully achieve her goal now? And why frame Peacemaker and hire him at the same time? Like
because you wanted him to be the fall guy. So that's the setup. When you're doing the type of work that Amanda Waller does, is you usually try to cover your tracks and dot all your. You don't want to leave loose ends. We can tell pretty much that Amanda Waller is an evil. She's not a good person at all. That also it also speaks to the type of people that work for Amanda Waller, which is that individual that was over there laughing while he was killing people, which says a lot about your employer. So from the very onset of this show, her intention was to undermine him after they were able to use him. So so once we use you, we have this, we can hold this over your head. You're indebted to us. We put you in a position where now you have to do what our bidding or else. You know what I'm saying? This episode, did she get what she wanted? Yes, she did. This opens a big can of worms at this point. And it also, the real thing that I think that this episode does at this point is it now opens the door for DC to bring in other heroes to now possibly capture Peacemaker, because there's an all-out bulletin for his arrest in these deaths, in these things, this terroristic acts. So right now, Peacemaker is dodging his father. He's dodging law enforcement, all forms of law enforcement. You're dodging actual heroes that are out here trying to get villains, because now you're now what is it, public enemy number one. So all these guys that you've referenced in the past episodes, Superman, Batman, all of the Justice League, who stand to protect all things that are right. You may at some point encounter one or two or more. Who knows?
I don't know who would show up. If they would use, if DC was wise, they'd pick somebody that we haven't seen yet who would kick ass. Don't give me Deathstroke. You know what I'm saying? Don't give me somebody that we're going to be like, oh, why didn't they choose the same guy that was in the Arrow? And you know what I'm saying? Or the guy from the, well, actually, hold on. Was Deathstroke in the Suicide Squad? Wasn't he in Suicide Squad or something like that?
Yeah.
Deathstroke was also in the Arrow.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah, he was deep in the Arrow. Yeah, it was like 3 seasons, like about freaking Deathstroke, and then
Exactly.
from bad to good to bad again. Go ahead.
The one thing about this show though is like they already kind of hinted that like that Peacemaker was going to be the fallback like from the beginning. So if you remember out of bio, they were all talking about like the mission, and they were saying that like it's off the grid, like what they're doing is off the grid, no one knows about it. So like if they get caught, they're fucked.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Remember, like she said that to them, you know what I'm saying? She's like, we're secret ops, like in like, you know,
Yeah.
and he was like, if we're handling a fucking life-threatening situation with the world, why the fuck don't we have help? You know what I'm saying? And like she's like, well, we're doing this by ourselves. No one knows we're doing this. So you gotta think about like, you know, those context clues they were throwing in there. And then like, you know, she sent that text message to her saying, did you hide the diary yet? Because they wanted to bust in on him to, you know what I'm saying, frame him for that. But like there was no prime opportunity until his dad got free from jail. And, you know, like, you know, they were pursuing that whole case on that one butterfly lady that he was fucking in the first scene. So like it like the context clues were there, but I mean like it's just a little crazy that it went to this extent, you know what I'm saying, and everything like and like the whole butterflies, like they literally took the diary, the guy took the diary to hide it, you know what I'm saying, and because he became a butterfly is the only reason why he gave out the information. So I mean like the context clues were there. It's just a little crazy how it all like planned out, I guess.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Well, a lot to unpack. Two very good episodes of content this week. Boba Fett and Peacemaker. We only got 10 minutes left. We got to kill it, or we won't be able to replay the show. So, just wanted to real quick, guys, just discuss some of these new shows that came out. Two of which are Ty and I's favorite shows. I'm gonna keep it 100 with y'all. Raising Dion is out. Despite the colorism debacle that happened in season 1, where we all had to be upset about the fact that they did it. They pulled an Aunt Viv on the mom of Raising Dion. We get it. They lightened her. But as of now, I'm only on episode 1, and I'm like, holy fuck, this shit is really good, man. It is really, really good. So please make sure you check out.
I'm on last episode.
These next two joints we're gonna discuss in the next 5 minutes are spoil free, so don't spoil nothing. But Ty, guys, y'all have been watching. Just, I mean, without telling us what's going on, are we gonna be happy with what we see in these upcoming episodes?
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes,
you're gonna get some cool development on, you know, like, you know, just like the different, you know, abilities and stuff like that, you know, that Dion has like learned. You know, he's growing up, so he's learning all these different things that he can do, you know what I'm saying? And we're gonna get new teachers, you know, we're gonna get new problems, new villains. So it's definitely really interesting to watch. Definitely don't take your eyes off the screen. Every minute is important in all of the episodes, because I'm on, I think, the last episode I have to watch like right when we get done with this, and I am at the edge of my fucking seat like, what the fuck? So definitely watch it. It's amazing. Like the way that they progressed from the first season, it's riveting. I'm not gonna lie. Like it's just like it's amazing. So I can't wait to see if like they do continue this season on, what's to come. So definitely check it out.
You feel the same way, Ty?
Yeah, I think they definitely season 2 is definitely an upgrade from season 1. Not that that season 1 was terrible, but it is good to see that the writing has gotten better. They also are tapping into real life issues, which I always like to see. They're not shying away from racism and you know, and all the things that would typically affect someone that lives in Atlanta. Or anywhere else, to be honest. But yeah, this series has the potential to do great things, simply because Dion doesn't have any. He can do anything.
Yeah,
like he literally could do anything. Like
I
think that's one of the things that we haven't really seen, where you know, most of the superheroes have, you know, 2 or 3, maybe 4 different powers at once. This kid can make up shit as he goes. So
we got you, Vince.
He can make up stuff as he goes. So I really like this show, and I think anybody who watches it will be on board at this point.
For sure.
Yeah, and I'm gonna tell y'all a secret. First of all, I'm glad to see an off-brand comic book get its play. All right, this was an independent artist who made this comic book, and it has now come to life. So that's dope. I tried to get Steph to watch it. The only way you can get Steph to watch it is by coaxing her. I'm like, "Yo, Steph, there's a guy in it." She's like, "Oh," she's like, "Oh, what is this?" So I think she's binged it since. I don't know, man. But the last show, which I honestly, I thought this was universally badass, but evidently I am alone in this, and Ty and I are the only ones that like this, I guess. Oh my God, don't tell me.
No, we're not the only ones that like this, but
yeah, there was some. I mean,
seen it yet.
Yeah, there was a little bit of backlash. We were talking on the video game one time, and your boy Matt Tyrone was avidly against the notion of this being a good show, bro. And I don't know who hurt him as a child.
He talked about it being good up until the end of season 1. He said I think his problem was with the ending, which I haven't seen, so I can't really feel anything in there. But yeah, I think that was I seen about the first half of season 1.
That's crazy because the end of season 1 was actually the beginning of what the whole story is kind of prefaced around, which is this this prophecy that needs to unfold. And so what happened in the season finale is just kind of more that adds to the prophecy. But season 2, they gave you the first 2 episodes are out right now. And so far so good.
What I really like about the show, and we're gonna have to do a hard out here because I'm having, if we don't get done before 2-hour mark, then we can't replay it, and I got to make sure we can replay it. But one of the things that I love about the show is the fact that it merges the concept of religion, and it discusses like the origins of it. Like there's this whole religion thing, and there's like religion versus science, and I love that struggle because it's always complex. So I dig that. And also just the tech, man. There's freaking androids that are playing the role of father and mother, and I mean that's just really cool. Like the father at one point gets mad at the mother and has to like give her silent treatment, and and they're androids. They're not even they're not even real people, and it's like, mother, where have you gone, mother, whatever. So
but not just androids, like they're they're like the Picard version of the android. Like if anybody's watched Picard, what I'm saying, and saw the kind of the development of how androids are on screen. Yeah, these are those type of androids. These are not just like a R2D2 and C3PO. These type of androids can break your ass in half, literally.
Yeah,
if they want to. So, it's not.
These androids are like modern day war version of atomic bombs, with eyes and legs and teeth, like especially the woman. And if you watch season 1, you'll get more insight on that. Well, guys, we got to go ahead and wrap up, man, because even though it's a week early,
let's talk about the last. Okay, sorry. Before we go, if you guys haven't checked it out yet, Amazon Prime is streaming one of the coolest Dungeons and Dragons like live action like role playing. You have to check it out. It's got 6 episodes officially streaming now on Amazon Prime. It's called Vox Machina. Please check that shit out because we want more seasons and we need our followers to fucking watch that shit. We will definitely discuss it more. Just stay tuned. It's fucking amazing.
Funny as hell.
It is funny. It is a funny show. It's a nice animated series. And also Lord of the Rings is coming out too. A lot of stuff on Amazon Prime is coming out. Reacher is out.
Reach is good, man. Reach is good. Anybody who likes action, real quick, check out Reacher, man. It was really good. I'm on the 3rd episode, and I'm telling you, I love it. I love it so far. It's pretty good.
All right, awesome, man, awesome. Well, guys, as we always say, man, you got to make sure. Well, thank you so much. Don't go nowhere, y'all. I still got to holler at y'all after this, so sit tight for a little bit. As for everybody who tunes in, thank y'all for joining me in Motel 4. I appreciate you throughout the technical difficulties and everything, man. But make sure you go and check the YouTube channel, check out our Instagram, and check out everything we have on Facebook and Twitch. And in all things you are, make sure you are your authentic self. Because if you ain't, you is being fake, and ain't no fun in that. And wherever you are, you a geek for real. Go ahead, let that geek flag fly. Pull it.
Fighter 2, I just really hate Zang if only Ken and Ra do. I find it hard to be Blanca, keep a wee ninja hanging and our uncle album banging. If you negative in energy, then stay out the vicinity. Them niggas over there, yeah, now look at